Hello, my name is Craig Resnick of the ARC Advisory Group, coming to you from the 2025 ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. I want to welcome today my special guest, Kevin McClusky, Chief Technology Architect for Inductive Automation. Thanks so much, Kevin, for being here.
Craig, thanks for having us. It's always a pleasure to be here at ARC.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you and your company. You're one of the leaders as far as helping your customers proceed on their digital transformation journey.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about what some of your customers, some of the solutions you're selling your customers this year, and what do you anticipate coming up with that's really going to help them advance on their digital transformation journey?
Yeah, great question. So we are a one software company, one product company, basically. So Ignition is our product, the Ignition platform. We have several different editions of Ignition, and that's our big thing that we're doing this year is Ignition 8.3. So Ignition 8.3 is the next major edition of Ignition that we're releasing. Some of the technologies that our customers are using, we've seen a lot of IT-OT convergence where the IT side is coming into OT, which is a bit of a departure from where it used to be. The IT side used to be connecting to OT, but not necessarily coming into OT. And so some of these IT technologies that are really valuable and really useful are migrating into the OT space. So things like Docker containers or containerization, orchestration platforms, Kubernetes, and some of the security pieces that are part of all of that are critical technologies for customers who are inside this space. We've done a lot of work in 8.3 to try to line up as best as we could to support folks in some of their big initiatives that they have.
Yeah, I think that's really key because I'll tell you, I've heard at this forum the word container used more than I ever have, especially by OT personnel, which wouldn't be ordinarily doing that.
No. Yeah, it's a departure from where it used to be. It was all virtual machines and it was servers and other options out there. And, the world is moving to containerization. So we're there for it and we're supporting all those efforts.
Another hot topic, of course, continues to be edge, whether it be a combination of, using edge by itself, edge to cloud hybrid solutions. What does Inductive Automation have for solutions to help your customers with edge to cloud type of solutions?
We have a couple of editions of Ignition for Edge. One is Ignition Edge IoT. The other one is Ignition Edge Panel. And both of those are intended to run at the edge. The IoT product is for communication, for data ops, for bidirectional communication as well. If you have AI models that are running centrally, you can do some communication back, closed loop control if you want to, for pieces there, data collection into a unified namespace, that type of thing. And Edge Panel is our HMI software solution. So we work with a lot of hardware providers who provide hardware, but Ignition is designed to run on commodity hardware. And so it'll run on practically anything. So if you have an IPC, industrial PC that's sitting out on the plant floor or anywhere really, Ignition Edge Panel will be able to turn that PC into an HMI. That's a first-class HMI and also has all of those communication technologies built into it.
It sounds like, certainly you had a lot of good accomplishments in 2024. You certainly described some of them. And it also sounds like certainly with Ignition 8.3, you'll have some good accomplishments for 2025. Can you elaborate a little bit more on some of the highlights of 2024 and maybe some other highlights looking forward to 2025?
Sure. Yeah. So 2024, we were mostly working on Ignition 8.3, which is coming out this year. So our big highlights for 2024 would be for the development efforts that we've made up until this point to get to 2025. So we released an internal alpha of Ignition 8.3. We've been listening to the community and to a lot of user feedback. We have something that we haven't had in the past, if you go back a few years, which is a set of product managers that are inside our development team. And so those product managers have been doing a really good job of working with customers, gathering customer requirements to make sure that 8.3 is going to line up as best as we possibly can with the needs of the community right now. Going into 2025, I mentioned containerization earlier. There's a whole variety of additional things that we're supporting in Ignition 8.3. On the IT side, we're supporting DevOps or GitOps. We're supporting version control with a lot of the new features that we have inside 8.3, and there's probably 30 or 40 features that I don't have time to go into right now. But we're also focusing on our community who might not be as far along that technological journey at this point. And so we're focusing on things like drawing tools inside Ignition Perspective, the visualization that runs inside web browsers and control systems. We're adding a module called Event Streams that's intended for centralized event management inside Ignition directly. And we're really trying to take the things that the community has been asking for us for years and build that all into the next version. So we've taken a little while to get 8.3 out the door, but it's coming this year, and the beta is right around the corner too.
Can you elaborate maybe on some of the highlights regarding some of your cybersecurity technology?
Sure. So we recently, when I say recently, I'm talking a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we became certified in 62443. And so we are certified by an external entity there. We've had a focus on security. We've been doing security since before it was cool. And so going all the way back to when we first released Ignition, our development team is all folks who come from the IT world, or at least originally that's what the development team was made up of, combined with folks who were providing feedback from the OT space. Our founder and CEO at the time, Steve Heckman, ran a systems integration company for 20 years. And so we basically combined both of those worlds. And so we've had a focus on security from the very beginning. But this certification with 62443 is a really nice thing. We're at maturity level 3, I believe, at this point with that. And so that's a real validation of some of the things that we were doing inside the company already from a security standpoint, secure code development, secure software development lifecycle, some of the external tools that we use for validating libraries and resources. And we also launched a security microsite. So we have a site that is specifically around security, focused on the Ignition platform that any security professional can go to, or anyone really can go to and take a look at some of the security information that we have out there. We're in industries that require high security, and it's first and foremost and paramount to us.
Oh, absolutely. With all those initiatives, new products, or with 8.3, think of the challenges. What are some of the challenges you see your customers having going forward in 2025? Whether it be even some of the headwinds they may be facing, and even maybe some tailwinds that might be happening that might maybe help make them help them be able to go through with a lot of the initiatives that you described.
Sure. A couple of challenges come to mind immediately. So one of those would be data. Inside this AI landscape that we're living in, companies want to be able to train models if they're using traditional AI, machine learning, or they want to be able to take advantage of some of these newer technologies and the LLMs that are out there. To do any of that, you need a conduit for data. You need to have your data governed. Governance is very important. You need to have a set of contextualized information that is accessible across the organization. And that has been a big challenge for a lot of companies who aren't running on modern technology, and folks who have so much history that is in locations where you can't go and rip and replace everything that exists on a plant floor just to make this accessible. At the same time, there's a big effort that's coming from the C-suite in these organizations and from leadership in these organizations to say, let's spend some money, let's focus on this, on improving these things. The other piece that I'll mention that I think is also interesting in terms of a challenge would be the integration. So it kind of two sides of the same coin, but that integration and those challenges on the integration side are very real. We talk to a lot of customers, and what we try to do at Inductive Automation is to be the cornerstone of folks' industrial technology stack and their direction, their strategy there. So we work with a lot of folks who are right in the middle of their digital transformation efforts, and that integration can be one of those big challenges. I'd say in terms of tailwinds, it's a really nice place in the industry right now if you're using some of the modern technologies. We're trying to get some of the education out there about ignition, of course, and about some of the tools that we have built in that help with these types of challenges. But there are answers. Those answers are available. Those answers are economic at this point, and affordable in most cases. But it takes a little while to get there too. So I think that the landscape is right to be able to enable this, and companies just need to focus their efforts in the right direction, the right places, and with the right technology stack to make it happen.
Well, it certainly sounds like 8.3 is really going to be a great enabler for a lot of your customers in 2025.
I can't tell you how excited I am about it.
You're gonna have I think you got a great year, and we look forward to having you again in 2026 forum, so you can tell us about how well you did in 2025.
I'd love to.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Chris.
That was Kevin McClusky, Chief Technology Architect at Inductive Automation. And this is Craig Resnick coming to you from the 2025 ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. Thank you so much. Have a great day.